welcome back.
Mark.
Your dreams were your ticket out. Welcome back,
Mark.
to that same old place that you laughed about. Well, the names have all changed since you hung around, but those dreams have remained and they've turned around. Who'd have thought they'd lead ya? Who'd have thought they'd lead ya? Back here where we need ya. Back here where we need ya. Yeah, the tea's Sean Lott, 'cause we got him on the spot. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
You asked it around your country around my suit. It's gone.
What are you doing? Come on.
That is not paid for by them. That is paid for by the people of Detroit.
You might be qualified, Mel.
I'm not qualified for this job.
Let me tell you something. You want to go right now? Okay? You want to go right now, Albert?
Hey kids, it's your old pal ML Elric, and thinking of old songs to start this show, it occurs to me as I'm here back in Red Shovel Network Studios that we probably should have done The Boys Are Back in Town, because for the first time in a while, all three of us are back here. Marc Fellhauer's returned from vacation. Sean has returned from vacation. and we are here. The energy is crackling. I don't know if you're watching us on YouTube or Facebook. You can see the hair on my head is standing straight up because of just the electricity that's in here. It's a dynamic situation. It feels like anything could happen. The air is fraught with possibility. It's incredible. It's exciting. I'm beside myself with enthusiasm.
How many people know that song? What's the cutoff age for Welcome Back, Cotter?
Oh, I know it. I'm 47. Probably pretty close to it.
Yeah, right.
But only because
I
of
watched
reruns.
it when it was on the air, so that puts me in the 50s.
Yeah, so not much younger than Mark, basically, right?
Yeah, you know what? Reruns, you don't really see reruns as much anymore. Because I remember growing up, we would see Gilligan's Island, we would see like Green Acres, you know, all those Believe It to Beaver. Those
Brady
are always
Bunch.
on all the time.
Yeah.
But now there's so much other crap on that, you know.
Well, you got to get the sub channels. You got to cancel your cable subscription and get like
No, there's
Me
too much other
TV
good
sub
stuff
channel
on.
4.
You can still find Bewitched out there.
Can you really? God, that was another one I used to watch all the time.
Loved watching
as a
that.
kid. Yeah,
You're 40. Wait, you're 47.
47. Yeah,
I can't believe I'm 10 years older. That is.
I know. It seems like you're like 30 years older than me.
I know it does. It does.
It's almost like a voice from the
It's because I
grave.
act like a child.
There
When's
was
your
a-
birthday?
January.
January
3rd.
Okay. Yeah, mine was last week.
Oh,
Identity
happy birthday!
theft.
I didn't know
Careful.
Wait, what's that, Mike?
I said Mark just opened himself up to identity theft right there. You got to be careful.
He gave us a date.
that. Well, thanks for pointing it out to people.
What, that you were born on January 3rd, 47 years ago?
Yeah, my social security number is 586.
555-5555-55.
How old is Mr. Elric?
I am the victim of identity theft. In fact, I was
That's
just
right.
talking to the FBI yesterday for a story that's going to run in the Free Press about how you can avoid being the victim of identity theft. And I
Wait,
found out
somebody
about
wants to
this.
be you?
No, somebody likes my
Everyone
credit
does.
score. In fact,
Everyone does.
Yeah.
somebody was one guy got arrested in Southgate for trying to open up a bank account in my name. A different guy is facing potential criminal charges in Ferndale for trying to buy a car at a used car lot in Ferndale. Two other people, or maybe these same guys, tried to buy a $75,000 BMW in Wayne in my name. And when the guy called me and said, I don't think this is you, I said, if you knew me, you would know it's not me, because I've never looked at it. If you got a $7,500 BMW on the lot, maybe I'll come see it.
But
no.
has anybody tried to buy the product that makes that hair stand up straight?
That would be a fine suave treatment that you can get in small little tins for just pennies on the dollar. Or pennies
Like
on
pomade.
the dollar,
In a tin.
as Frank Clemenson would say, who's watching us from Canada. Thanks for the wildfires, Frank. I hope you didn't have anything to do with that, man. We're gonna have to
Yeah,
come
because
and get some
all
reparations.
Canadians are responsible.
How long has it been since we've all been here?
Not that long.
Well, I mean,
It feels like all summer.
not last week. Of course, we were here the week before with Peter Leonard. That was a pretty good
Well,
conversation.
ML was gone for like 4 weeks this summer.
He was.
It has been the summer of Elric.
I've been gone a little bit. Yeah.
I've been here
I'm
virtually,
gone every week,
but
really.
I didn't. And this last week was an epic week for getting out and about. I went to go see Pat Benatar. I went to go see
And
the
Neil
Beach
Giraldo, you
Boys.
sexist.
I saw Benatar Giraldo.
Yeah, that's right.
I
Can't
saw
have one without the other, apparently.
Beach Boys, which I guess you'd have to call Love Johnston now.
Did
based
you
on
see
the
Rod
same
Stewart
principle.
too?
I did not, but I saw him in,
How about Procol Harum?
Killarney, Ireland. Procol Harum, I don't think
They're going to play
tour
one
anymore.
song for 50 minutes.
Yeah, it's a Conquistador, then they take an intermission.
And they're
No,
followed by
is it a lighter shade of pale?
they're followed by Iron. Is it Iron Butterfly?
They do, but Conquistador is the really long one. That's a great one.
It's like Inagata DeVita.
Only you would name the one song that. I mean, they're like the one-hit wonder band.
Maybe two.
Well, Bananarama too.
Bananarama had a lot of hits.
Did they?
But again, we're way ahead on this one. But when you mentioned Inagata DeVita, I was thinking of Manhunter and that great scene
Yep.
where Tom Noonan comes through the wall right in the middle of it. That was fantastic.
So what's better, Manhunter or Silence of the Lambs?
Well, Manhunter, William Peterson brings you to Live and Die in L.A., and last week I challenged listeners to send us your favorite new wave theme song from a movie. Wang Chung did To Live and Die in L.A., probably the only reason you ever have to say, let's listen to some Wang Chung tonight.
Great movie, though.
But fantastic
Oh,
movie.
that movie's,
I
yeah.
want to renew that challenge to people, so get those suggestions into mlsoulofdetroit@gmail.com. But saw a lot of people listen to the podcast at these shows, and some guys at the ball game last night, Cubs Tigers. And just want to say thank you for saying hello. Thank you for listening and supporting the show. And to everybody who bought our merchandise, the store is closed now, but the sale went well enough that we will probably be flogging some more quality wares closer to the holidays. So thank you for supporting the show. Those orders are now in production, and they should be hitting your doorstep early in September. It takes about 2 to 3 weeks to ship, so you should be getting those soon. But thank you very much for everybody who's supported the shows in the many ways that you can do that: donating, listening, sharing it, talking it up, all that good stuff. So thanks. And Mark, where did you go on your vacation?
I was going to say, I'm glad there's going to be another store run because I didn't get my order in because I was unplugged way up in the UP. I'd never been to the Upper Peninsula. Grew up in Michigan my whole life, lived here my whole life.
Never crossed the bridge?
Never
Oh,
crossed
you're from
the bridge.
Columbus.
I was born in Columbus, so
Okay.
moved
Born?
here when I was like 6 months old.
By the way, what is it
Conceived.
with the Ohio State flags in the neighborhood we record? I saw a few of
Oh,
them
really?
on the way in. Yeah, flying out proudly in front of the Colonials or whatever.
Yeah, well, they're everywhere. You know, they're proud, they're pumped up.
You're kind of a Buckeye, a closet Buckeye.
I was born a Buckeye fan, grew up a Buckeye fan, because my parents or my dad especially was an Ohio State fan, but went to Michigan. What are you going to do? It's crazy.
It happens.
Made him pay my tuition.
Well, that's a tax on the good people from. Hey.
No, but because I went to the UP, I totally unplugged, and then when I got to my email, I'm like, oh shit, August 16th was the day, and I totally spaced out and forgot. So I'm glad there's going to be another run.
We will help you stock your wardrobe next time the store opens. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting that stuff because this is a little different than what we had before. A little different material, a little different design. So pretty groovy stuff. So, you know, shame on you for missing it, but we will once again give you an opportunity to make things right with the Lord.
You?
No, not me. I'm
okay.
just a demigod, not the big guy.
All right.
That's Jim Harbaugh, of course.
A semi-god?
He's the Lord. Somebody tried to bring him into a line recently, which was interesting.
So we didn't get to go a show without mentioning
I know.
his name. Oh,
so
God.
so thin.
It used to be
thin-skinned.
It used
so
to be
insecure.
Kilpatrick, but now it's Harbaugh.
I would love to hear your take on it, ML.
On the Harbaugh thing?
Yeah.
I don't know enough to say whether it's a just outcome.
Oh, okay.
The 4 games, I mean, I think we talked about it before where I thought maybe that's extreme considering what happens to SEC coaches when they do stuff. I still, when I look back at all these disciplinary things, I still can't believe that Jim Tressel had to leave Ohio State for handing out some gold pants tokens. I mean, the crime and punishment.
A lot more than that, my man.
Right, but I mean, crime and punishment in the NCAA is completely and utterly different Penn State almost goes on the death penalty. They have to take down the statue of Joe Paterno. Nothing happens to Michigan after Dr. Anderson, and the statue of Bo Schembechler is still there, and his name's still on a hall. I mean, in the last 20 years, do you remember when the NCAA put the death penalty on SMU for some stuff they did? Now they can barely get you to, admit you did something wrong. There's no law, there's no order in college football anymore. The conferences are breaking up.
SMU set the standard, by the way. I mean, my
crazy.
goodness.
Well, the NCAA thinks they're their own legal entity, which is kind of what happened with Harbaugh here. You know, you have the infractions committee meeting with Michigan and coming together kind of like a plea deal to have 4 games. And the judge higher up said, no, that's not enough. We're throwing this out.
Wait a second. Why were you making a face when Mike was talking about Dr. Anderson and Schembechler Stadium or statue still being up?
No, I don't like the comparison to the whole Paterno thing personally, but.
No, but why?
Because I think Sandusky was incredibly close to Paterno and
His defensive coordinator.
Oh yeah, well not only that, but after there had been some allegations and after he had retired, he still allowed him to use the facilities nonstop where the acts were committed in. I think it's a little. I don't want to go down this lane because then people will claim that I'm protecting Michigan. But they fucked up with Dr. Anderson, but I don't like the comparison whatsoever. Not to mention that it didn't come to light for years afterwards.
Right. Well,
I think they're vastly different.
Yeah, and then people are going to come at me and say, "Oh, you want to talk about Anderson, but you don't want to talk about Nassar." We're not trying to. This isn't about.
But too much of it is.
But, well, my point in bringing up Anderson is not because he's a Michigan guy, but because 20 years ago the NCAA really cracked down on people. Now they're just like, we were afraid to bring punishments because they lost, I think, a big lawsuit where it was proven or it was established in court
because here's the thing.
They don't have the power to do what they thought they had the power to do. So they're afraid to do anything because they don't want to see their power eroded even more by another adverse ruling.
The NCAA has no power.
Except to take money. That's really what they do. Is they're a pass-through now.
They create TV deals for everything but college football now.
Yeah. No,
that's really, without men's basketball, what is the NCAA? It's nothing. They just create tournaments for everybody.
Yeah.
But the new playoff system for football is not run by the NCAA. It's run by the conferences.
Well, and it's not run by the conferences anymore because some of those conferences that were going to run them don't exist anymore. There's not a Power 5 anymore. There's not a Pac-12.
No, there's a Power 2, period.
Yeah.
And that's the way it's going to be.
So we can get into the whole college sports discussion a little later if you want, but I'm so sick of all this crap and how we're all in a rush to turn college football into a business, and it's been a business for years. I understand you
guys saying that. People like you are screaming that it's going to ruin the game. Is the game really that much worse now?
Yeah, I think it is.
Really?
Yeah, because you used to know who was on your team, and now they change every single year, and why somebody's with you is not the reason why they used to be with you.
But how does conference expansion, how has that changed that?
It's just another offshoot of how the game has become corrupted. The reason why they're expanding is strictly for money, and the reason why they want more money is because they want to pay the coaches and they want to build facilities and they want to pay the athletes. It's not because they want to expand the university's reach. It's not because they want to raise more money to help support the university. Well, these athletic departments have become independent, and I don't even want to say subsidiaries of the universities because it feels like the universities have become subsidiaries of the athletic departments. In fact, I think the only way the universities can get money from the athletic departments is to charge them for using their brand.
You're right and you're wrong, but look at the athletic.
Well, that covers it, right?
Look at your athletic department.
Those are the two options.
Think of the athletic department as a marketing arm, right? I mean, that's what most people know about universities is what their athletics are. You're right. It 100% is about money, and TV is running everything right now. The expansion west is so you can add that extra time slot where a game can kick off at 10:30 to get another 8, 10, 12 million viewers to make more money. It's an arms race right now because they know this model of, amateurism or nonprofit, because they're technically nonprofits, isn't going to last.
So let me back up.
You disagree with that?
Both of you are wrong.
No,
it's not. We say that. Look, and sometimes in this society or any society anywhere, yes, money is the end goal. That's not what's happening here, though.
What's happening?
It's a lot more nuanced than that. And frankly, it's about survival from the...
That's what I mean. It's an arms race of money.
No, but it's not money. It's is anybody going to watch the sport? That's what's happening. Are people going to go and pay and buy tickets, and are they going to turn on the TVs and watch the sport? That's why we got conference realignment.
But
that's what's happening.
Sean.
They want to put games on the air
To make
that
money.
people will watch.
Make money.
If they don't watch, there's no sport. If they're not
money.
selling tickets, then what do we have? UCLA has 30,000 empty seats every Saturday, right? You know what I mean? That college football ratings have been down. That's what's happening. It's just about survival of a business, because it is a business. There are no stockholders here.
That's it. You just said it. It's a business.
Right.
That's
but
what's
there's
wrong
no
with
stockholders here.
it. Yes, there are.
No, they're not. It's not that
The
there's
universities are the stockholders.
No, I understand, but this
And they
money
don't have
isn't
voting
going to some
shares
people that have
anymore.
nothing to do with college football. They're just getting rich, and the coaches' salaries largely come from the donors of the schools. The way it's all funded, so much of this is funded. It's just not the rules, but it's just. It's a mess.
Sean,
There are no rules.
Sean, when you have
This isn't corporate America, except for television. That is.
when you have a massive university like, say, Oregon and Washington going, oh my God, we will take a third of a share, or you have SMU saying to the ACC, we don't want any money for 5 years. Can we please join your conference? It is about money.
What are
It
those
is
schools
about-
doing with that money, though, in their athletic departments?
Well, they're hiring associate athletic directors. They're building new facilities.
Where do you think the
because
scholarship money and all that for all those other sports comes from, right?
Oh no, I was talking to ML off the air about that. Because his argument is that these poor non-revenue sports, that's going to cost so much more for travel, but you're bringing in so much more money.
They don't
to
exist without
sustain-
football and sometimes
Exactly.
basketball. They don't.
Exactly. So you're bringing more money into the pot to pay for that stuff. Now, if this is the joke of it, they pretend that they care about student athletes. They don't care about student athletes.
Well, no, of course they don't. But if you really want to
They
get
don't
deep
care
with
that
it,
somebody from Maryland is going to have to travel to play softball against Washington.
But what's it for? We're sitting there talking about some kind of purity, but really you just want to go up and tailgate and
money.
watch a game.
It's for money,
Right?
To keep the.
But you're not going to have a game to go watch if people aren't interested on the television.
People will
That's
always
not
watch
true.
Michigan. People will always watch Ohio State. People will
How do
always
you
watch-
think that these programs? You think these programs can operate without television revenue?
No, that's
Of course
why-
they can't.
That's my point.
Yes,
It's about-
Exactly.
It's money.
Yes,
it's not
they can.
eyeballs.
Yeah,
They
if
can
they
do-
operate at a 10,000 seat stadium.
No, they can do what you and I and Mark do, which is we say, boy, I'd like to have everything I see, but I only have this much money in the bank, so I'm going to have to make some choices. And I'm going to have to decide I'm not going to go out and turn tricks so I can get something that I really want.
So what about the other
I'm going to have
sports?
to scale back.
Well,
You're talking about going back to an era where there were hardly any sports on the campus, or if they were club sports. There certainly weren't scholarship sports.
well,
they're cutting back on these sports. They're not expanding them, and now they have another reason to cut back on them because we can't send the crew team out to Oregon
now
because
you're talking about something different because we have a very myopic view of, say, Michigan State, Ohio State. We forget about the Centrals, who did cut a lot of sports. Because
Well, yeah, Eastern.
Michigan State cut swimming and diving.
Yeah, because of the facilities to some degree, but Eastern.
Oh, but we have all this
Eastern-
money now from the new conference. We can build a new facility.
Eastern
That's why
plays
your argument
football.
falls apart.
Should Eastern Michigan University have a football team? I mean, seriously, they pull monies out of the general fund. They're not the only ones. I'm not picking on Eastern. I love Eastern. I went to school at Eastern.
the smaller schools are the one
They pull money out of their general funds.
They're going to get boned by it, right? You're going to have two different levels.
So this is where the question is: what role does athletic? God, this isn't even
That's
on a
the
list
question.
of things
We
to talk
did not
about.
want to
But,
go
that's
down
the
this
question.
road.
but take a look at
Mike,
Adrian.
that's the question.
Take a look at Adrian College. Adrian College is one of the few small private liberal arts universities in the country that's growing. And the reason it's growing is because they're creating a sport for every student there who wants to play. If you want to play Quidditch, you can play Quidditch there. If you want to play cornhole, you can be on the Adrian cornhole team because they understand that athletics and what it means to kids and what it means to people for socialization and for meeting people and for having a full and complete life is really important. And that kids will go to Adrian because they want to continue their athletic
But
career.
they're
or
not
they-
getting full rides, are they?
No, they're not. But see,
That's the
there's a
difference.
university that said athletics plays an important role. It's now a key part of their identity. The problem is the big universities, the Michigan State, at some point said athletics is going to bring in a lot of money and it's going to help us grow.
Yeah,
and that's what we want to do.
both can be true,
Because
though.
80,000 people
Right.
want to come watch, and I
Well-
mean, that's the thing. That's the difference, right?
I'll let you talk. But they've lost sight of that because now all they see is the money. And I want to go back to something Mark said, and I have to concede the point because I think it's absolutely unassailable that when your university athletic program is doing well, you bring in a lot of money for other shit too. When Michigan State had its capital campaign to raise $1 billion and D'Antonio was kicking everybody's ass, they hit their goal early. I've got a buddy, Raj, who just follows the SEC like nobody's business. He talks about how much money has come to Clemson and Alabama to the university from alumni and donors who are so proud to be there that they're plowing tons of money into the university and kids who are now going there because they want to be part of a winner. So I do concede that success on the playing field can help the overall institution. But I'd like to see all this extra TV money that's coming in go back to the university's general fund because, you know, and time will tell, and I hope that I'm wrong. I pray that I'm wrong. But 5 or 10 years from now, if you look at the budgets for these non-revenue sports, the only reason I believe they're going to be larger is because of the travel costs, not because they're putting more money into those programs. And that's a shame.
Yeah, but you pay for the travel cost with the more money.
It's a nasty cycle.
But you can support the sport and not spend as much on travel and just compete within your region.
But what are we talking about with the university and its mission? Mark's talking about the front door. Michigan's a great example. The reason that 40% of the student body there is from the East Coast is because they're good in football.
Yeah,
seriously.
No, you're right.
Because kids on the East Coast who want to go to a really good school, but want to get out of the Northeast because college football doesn't matter up there, so they come to Michigan.
I dated a super cool.
I think it's a little antiquated, but in the 70s
from the
and 80s,
East Coast,
no doubt.
who went to Michigan, and she doesn't give a shit about sports. In fact, she had a subscription to the New York Times, and when I would open it up and go to the sports pages, she's like, the New York Times has sport pages? And they sucked. But she went there because it's a great university. And Spartans like me, you know, we have to acknowledge Michigan is one of the preeminent academic institutions in the United States. I have another friend whose daughter was offered a scholarship to Princeton and to Michigan for engineering, and she picked Michigan because Michigan has a higher rated engineering department than Princeton. It's a great school. That's why a lot of people from the East Coast go there. Yeah, there's some knuckleheads who go there for the athletics, but it's Michigan's academic reputation and the network of alumni that attract people there. Not necessarily because...
I'm going by what people at the University of Michigan say.
Well, they lie about shit. That's why Harbaugh got suspended, because he's a lying piece of shit.
No, it has nothing to do with that.
Those two. No,
I'm just trying to bring it full circle so we can get back to Pat Benatar.
The numbers bear it out.
The numbers do bear it out.
Pat Benatar came from the East Coast to Michigan because of the football. No, she was at...
But the numbers do. When a team is better, they get more applications.
Of course they do.
I acknowledge that, but I don't think...
because you have two anecdotes that don't.
See what... I read a story about what's happened in Alabama in the last 15 years. It's unreal. Not only that, a lot more out-of-state students, which universities love because they can get more tuition.
And to that point, it almost makes Nick Saban worth every single
but he's probably underpaid if you're thinking about the out-of-state tuition that comes in.
Here's the other reason.
How much do the players
That's
pay?
why I love the University of Texas, because they don't give a shit. They cap it. They cap how many people are going to come out of the state, because they're one of the second most populous state in the country. They got this really good public institution there, and they're like, no, we're not going to give half of our slots to the rest of the country when we get all these kids in Houston, Dallas, Texas, or
because they have the luxury of 4 major areas, though. I mean, 4 major metro areas.
But they cap it, right?
But a lot of states don't have that advantage.
Well, the biggest problem the colleges have is that the out-of-state students pay twice what the kids from within the state do. So they don't want to have all in-state kids, because when I was sitting on an alumni board at Michigan State, they were talking about kids from overseas pay 4 times what an in-state kid does.
For sure.
And they said the dean of our college said one of the things we wrestle with as administrators is, boy, we love getting $4 for every $1, but we can't turn into this school full of foreign students, because then we lose who we are. So we want that big dollar, but we have to find the right blend. But let me just tell you something else about why a lot of kids are going to Alabama. This is probably not true about why out-of-state kids are going to Michigan. But one of the reasons why a lot of kids from out of state are going to Alabama is their academics and their reputation blows. So they are offering massive scholarships to kids from Michigan because they know they're smart and they're going to do 4 years of college and they're going to bring up the standards at Alabama. So some of the diaspora or influx, depending on which end of the pipeline you're on, to the SEC schools is they want these Midwestern kids and kids from other parts of the country where you can read books in the library and you can talk about whether you got a doodly or not a doodly, and you can use whatever shitter you want to use because they bring up the quality of the university. And so they're offering them a lot of scholarship money to go down there. And kids from up here are really happy to go someplace warmer because they're sick of these broke-ass winters that we have.
Their numbers started to spike when Nick Saban won his first national
No, there's no
championship.
question about that. I'm just saying this is another element that's bringing people down there.
No, for sure, but it starts with the marketing, and the marketing is the football, and that's where it always starts.
And basketball, but mainly football.
And right, and sometimes basketball, yeah, but that's where it always
A
starts.
lot of these kids from the Midwest would not go there without the money, no matter how good.
No, for sure, but you're not even thinking about it unless they're winning. I mean, that's what gets it in your mind is, oh, wow.
Yes.
You hear Alabama all the time because they're winning titles. It's
great, it's fun, it's warm, they're giving me money. I don't think Michigan has that lure. Nobody says, Michigan is warm. They go there, and the football team's been bad, and enrollment at Michigan keeps going up, as it does at Michigan State, because people want to go to these universities because they're high-quality universities. Their academic reputation attracts as many kids, I think, as their athletic. And I don't think the SEC teams can claim that.
Oh, academically?
Yeah.
No, the Big Ten is a better.
Well, no, it's a different demographic you're pulling from, and that's but.
But are you more likely to look at, say, Michigan State over, I don't know, Indiana or Illinois?
Well, no, they're looking
Bloomington.
at Michigan, and like Mike said, they're looking at Michigan and Princeton or Michigan and Boston University or whatever,
Sure.
and deciding, well, Michigan's a lot more fun on Saturdays in the fall than Boston University is.
Some kids like to be part of something really big.
Let me tell you
They
something
do.
about Boston
They
University.
do.
Boston's a lot more fun 6 days of the week than Ann Arbor is, but that's...
Well, no, I understand, but that's not what you're
And
thinking.
Ann Arbor's a
You're
fun
not
town,
thinking
don't
about
get me
all
wrong.
the nuance and the layers of an urban area that everything has to offer, like Boston. You're not thinking about that when you're 19 or 18.
If you like college hockey, you are, because they're the only team better than Michigan right now.
You're the king of the exception to the rule.
I know, I don't
Well,
get
because
it.
there's not one size fits all, and
Of
you guys want,
course.
it's just a business. No, it's not just. It is a business, but it should be more than that.
But we're talking about what it
Go
is.
root for Adrian
Exactly.
Quidditch then.
I'm not saying I like it either. I mean, you can make an argument. There's some
Quidditch,
folks that are
Go Bulldogs!
that
I will
think-
root for Adrian.
Look, we could see a scenario 20 years from now where football's just removed.
It's going to be just that's kind of, I think there's a lot of smart people that see that writing on the wall.
Right.
And so, hey, we better get this $90 million conference share instead of $10 million.
And then the kids that row and play lacrosse and everything else and the field hockey, they're gonna be on right. It'll go back to being a club sport, which maybe it should have been all along. I mean, if you really want to go deep and think about it, right?
It never should have been. If you have the smarts to go to one of these universities and you're gifted athletically, you should have an opportunity to get a break on your tuition. Athletics,
But at the expense of people that are playing the most violent game in our society. I mean,
they make that choice, and that should be
yeah.
the. You know what? When I
no, but
coached,
they're the ones floating it. You're building it on their backs. You want to get really deep about this? What's the makeup of a football team? What's the percentage of black and white? What is the percentage of white and black versus all the Olympic sports? Basically, we've had black kids supporting suburban white kids for 30 fucking years in our college system.
Yeah.
We have. That's the reality of it.
I don't disagree with that.
That is the reality of it.
here's the difference.
There's so
here's the
many
difference
calls for civil rights and stuff. I'm really
It's
shocked.
unbelievable.
I've always been shocked
No.
that people don't look at
It's
college
completely
football and go,
unfair.
hey,
But-
why aren't these kids getting paid?
Exactly.
Here's the difference in our core philosophies. You think these kids should be given a chance to go and get beat up and make money in college. I think they should be given a chance to go and begin a career and get a degree and start a life that doesn't have anything to do with getting your ass beat, because guess what? Of the 110 kids on each of these rosters, 1 or 2 of them are going to make a career doing this. The reason why we want to bring people to campus on a scholarship, academic, athletic, whatever, is to give them an opportunity to build a life and a career.
Completely agree.
And I think that
we
we
just
just
need to
But
do
your
it differently.
justification is, okay, well,
It's
we've got
justification.
75 black kids are willing to get the shit beat out of them and make some money, and that's why we should have an athletic
No,
department.
we should do it more equitably. We should pull it out of the general fund. We should figure out ways to pass out scholarships in a different way. That's all I'm saying. I completely agree with you on the concept of, yeah, a lot of kids deserve a chance and need a chance, but why not for different reasons, right? Just
When I coached, I would tell the parents, we're here to teach kids about life through sports. What you're talking about is the exact opposite, which is to teach people that sports is life. And if you get in the arena and you're willing to get your neck broke, we'll put some money in your pocket.
that's not what I'm
That's
saying.
Wrong.
I'm not saying at
That's
all. I'm
wrong.
saying what the system.
By the way, my teams didn't win a lot of
the
games.
way the system evolved. I'm
there's an
talking about
aside,
the
but-
reality and how the system evolved.
Yeah.
And that we need to change it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, yes, that's right. We agree. We need to change it. You're just like, no, let's just roll over and take some more money. And you're talking about more eyeballs. Michigan State has games on Peacock now. That's not more eyeballs. That doesn't help Michigan State.
But they're
And
trying.
that's because of the conference alignment.
No, they're trying. It's not. They're trying to find eyeballs and keep this eyeballs that they've had.
Peacock? Yeah,
look,
sure.
The
eyeballs.
ratings have down.
I know, but eyeballs equal money. We know that.
No, for sure. But what do you have? If you don't have college football on television, what do you have?
You scale back. That's what you don't understand. This is not like when you feed a goldfish, it just keeps getting bigger. That's all
What
you
have
want
you
to do is
got?
get a bigger tank. No, what you say is, this is what we need to do what we should do.
Where does the money come from? Where does the real, besides from the donations to the universities to coaches' salaries, where does the real money come from? People make fun of the phrase Walmart and they use
In the athletic
Walmart
department?
Wolverine, right?
In the athletic department?
which is a total class. It's classist to say that.
Oh, whatever. No one cares.
Those are the people that make the money. It's the same in Alabama. The majority of the people that watch that team, that the advertisers want to pay for, are not alums.
Yeah.
They're not.
Of course.
College
no.
football
When
is
you have-
supported by people that did not go to largely by people that did not go to the university.
You have 8 million people watching a game. Yeah, of course. they're not.
Exactly. And
Look,
when that
look,
disappears,
I'll put it this
then
way.
what do we have?
when Ohio State plays,
Then we have sports being what they should be.
I don't disagree with that.
when
but
Ohio State plays at UCLA at 10:30 at night on a Saturday in that fourth time slot, I'm not an alumni. I'm not necessarily a fan of either team, but I love the sport. And I'll
what's
be
the
watching.
ratio of alumni to college football fans watching that game? 90-10?
No, alumni.
A lot of people who went to Ohio, who graduated from Ohio State versus all the other fans watching that night.
What do you think? 90% are alumni?
No, I think 90% aren't alumni.
I think 10%'s even really high.
It
I
might
think
be.
Probably 1% when you're talking
might
about a
be.
million people in
and
the
that's,
audience.
and that's what I'm saying. That's what props up college football, and that's what this is about. They're trying to get people to watch, and it's not necessarily alums.
Before they had TV, people loved Notre Dame because they were Catholic and they were Irish. Before they had TV, people loved Michigan Agricultural College because they were from Michigan, because they were farmers, or because they knew somebody who went there. There were reasons that people supported college football long before we pimped everybody out and turned it into some big marketing miasma.
Welcome to America.
Well, guess what? Not everything in America is perfect, and I think everyone can agree on that. We just disagree on what's not perfect. I'm about trying to make things better, not just saying like, well, I guess if everything sucks, let me just go steal some stuff and start a fire because there's no rules.
Nobody here is talking about anarchy.
The term student athlete came out of the fact because they didn't want to pay these kids. That's where it comes from. I mean, it's always been a racket to make sure kids don't get money because it's always been about the money.
So that's a deep dive, and I don't know what
Sorry,
you're
yeah.
talking about. And
What do you mean?
What do you mean you don't know what he's talking about?
Well, no, the origin of the term student athlete, it feels like that's
Branding.
worth a full discussion, but I think we are already, like.
No. It's branding. It's like
talk.
George Carlin's line about going from shell shock to post-traumatic stress disorder. We're trying to sanitize it. We say student athletes, so we're saying, oh, it's really about the school and what they're learning in society. But no, Mark's point is that's just a way to say, oh, we don't have to pay them because they're really a student.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, maybe that's where that came from. I don't know. I'm just saying I don't know where it originated, but I do know there are a lot of kids
It goes back to the
who play
1930s.
these sports because they want to be in East Lansing, they want to be in Ann Arbor. They want to get an education there. They want to go where their friends went. They want to go where their parents went. They want to go someplace they grew up. They want to go someplace that they watched on TV and want to be a part of. But I still think one of the big draws to playing for these schools and these teams is emotional, and it's aspirational. and now we're pumping the finances into it, and we don't. Please, God, don't drag us down this rabbit hole again. But they are every scholarship athlete is given something of tremendous value, both real money and opportunity cost, which is a hard to quantify thing. You guys don't think that's enough? That's fine. We disagree on that. They're getting all the money they want. Here's the problem with college sports. When businesses combine, there's the SEC, which means Securities and Exchange Commission, not the Southeastern Conference. And somebody can say, this merger is bad for competition. This merger is bad for business. This merger is bad for America. So we're going to make sure Apple and Microsoft don't combine, because then when they do, they're going to charge everybody $1 billion for a computer. That's bad too. There is nobody looking at this conference alignment and saying, this is not in the best interest of the students, the universities, the fans, or America.
Well, it is in one sense. It is in one sense. If they think it's college football survival.
It's also not a company.
It's not, and there are no stake, and there are no shareholders.
Going to survive no matter what happens.
As it is right now in terms of a television
and
sport.
It could thrive.
That's what they're talking about.
In 1955, a Fort Lewis A&M lineman had his skull shattered during a football game. Family sued over it, and the NCAA said they're not entitled to any compensation because they are a student athlete. Claim was denied. Everybody has jumped on that term since. It was all because they didn't want to pay money. It's always been about money.
Well,
so
now
Mike
we have the origin, and I would suggest if his head was as hard as yours, he would have been fine.
Oh my God! So what did Mike just do there? He tried to hit us with his best shot, which did not work. Which reminds us,
money started floating into the 30s.
Reminds us,
I said I didn't want to get into the etymology of student athlete, but Mark did it very quickly, which I thought was great. I'm not used to that happening on this show.
This is a nice segue though, because you went to a Pat Benatar concert, and you're stuck in the past with music too, just like you are with these kind of arguments with football, college football, and college sports. But tell us about that, huh?
Let me tell you. Let me tell you what some college football students said in Ann Arbor to some guys. You better run. You better hide. And two guys didn't run and hide.
Do you think you'll ever go see an act that's current?
Again?
Yeah, I just went to go see the Sisters of Mercy. They're from the 80s.
Yeah, well, who is the most current act you've seen?
St. Motel. Whenever St. Motel's in town, I try and go see St. Motel.
All right.
I love St. Motel. I would love to see Cage the Elephant.
Taylor Swift. Did you see Taylor Swift?
It seems like Cage the Elephant never tours, or at least they don't tour around here, and they're fantastic. I would love to go see those guys.
Although I feel like every song is a cliche.
Did you go to the Pink concert last week or 2 weeks ago?
No, but Pat Benatar was touring with Pink for a while. That's as close as I
was
got.
Neil Giraldo with her?
You do not like Neil Giraldo can shred. That's an old man with an axe in his hand.
I'm not saying he can't. I just think it's always funny that you can't say Pat Benatar without Neil Giraldo.
You know, if I was Pat Benatar's first husband, I'd be like, how about you just say Giraldo? Because he supported her career. Mm-hmm. And they divorced just as she was really starting to take off.
Now she's supporting Giraldo's
Neil Giraldo, and they became. But she's still using the Benatar name. I know. This guy feels to me, if Don Canham was his uncle, he would have got a licensing deal out of it.
Pat Benatar or Joan Jett?
Pat Benatar every day. Every day.
Okay.
Pat Benatar or Chrissy Hine?
Joan Jett, don't forget about the Runaways. I mean, that's groundbreaking.
Yeah, it was.
They were, but when you look, so when I was at the show, I was looking up, and for people who think, oh, you're a bad husband, I took Teresa to that show.
Why would people just...
No one says that.
What, you have that much of opinion of yourself? Oh, people must...
Stop
For people who
projecting.
think I'm a bad husband.
Teresa always tells me
Like you're the fucking president of the United
Teresa.
States.
Teresa always tells me that.
Comes from Teresa.
But I skipped hockey to go to Pat Benatar.
What a hero.
So that's a real sacrifice.
For my fans that think I'm a bad husband, that might think I'm a bad husband.
So I was watching the show, and she gets into a couple of tunes. I'm like, So I looked her up on Wikipedia. She has way more hits than I could even remember. And she had the second song played on MTV right after Buggles. Radio killed the
radio killed the
Video killed the radio.
So Pat Benatar, Chrissy Hine, then.
Oh, to me, it stops at Chrissy Hine. She's the best.
Yeah,
love her. Love
I
the
like
voice.
Chrissy Hine. I like the
Best
Pretenders.
female voice in rock.
there are more tunes I would rather listen to and sing by Pat Benatar than Chrissy Hynde.
So you're going for quantity, not necessarily quality. Okay.
No, I said more that I like.
It's all about eyeballs.
So it's about
Yeah.
quality and quantity.
It's all
It's
about
like
the
if
numbers.
somebody says, "Hey, I got the best beer in the world. Would you like a 4-pack or a 6-pack?" What are you going to get? You're going to
If
get
it's
the
Pat
6-pack.
Benatar, probably a single.
No, because you'd have the
'Cause
Geraldo. You'd have the Geraldo beer.
You can get single cans in the stores now, right? So,
Equally good beers.
yeah.
Sean's like, "I'll take a case of Bud Light." That's fine.
Yeah, no, I would take some.
I won't even send in for the rebate because I just want to.
I had a new experience over the
wanna
weekend.
pay as much taxes as possible.
I happened to be at a graduation party, and somebody brought a beer out, and you had to roll it on its side. What is this beer? Have you ever heard of this thing? You take the can and you kind of roll it a few times back and forth, almost like you're rolling out Play-Doh with your palm.
It probably is some
Why?
sort of heavy gravity beer that has some sediment in it or something.
Yeah, and I was getting made fun of because I'd never seen it, didn't know how to do it. So I thought, okay, this is what the hipsters.
Maybe
are
you
doing.
just party with some pretentious dicks. I don't know. It's
What kind of beer is that?
I can't remember
not
the
highly
name.
carbonated, apparently.
I can't remember the name of it.
I'm sure someone wasn't messing with you.
Jim Schaefer knew the name of it.
Huh.
Is he pretentious?
I'm not going to answer that. He's got a French bulldog, so it kind of puts him.
What does
in,
that mean?
He's in the danger zone there.
Speaking of which, can I ask you a question?
I mean, the guy that just said not to paint everybody the same.
I know he does that all the
Except for the
time.
rule.
So at that
a
same
I said he's under suspicion.
what a
I didn't say
terrible
he
husband.
fits in. It's a marker. It's a.
at that same party, there were a bunch of people, house guests, 10 to 12, that were staying with us for the last 3-4 days, 5 days, whatever it is, and they make their own travel plans.
Where they stay in the bunkhouse.
And they don't think about it. Should you think about it? Should you book a departure when you're at somebody's house for 6 a.m. and without saying, "Oh, I'm going to need a ride to the airport at 4 in the morning"?
Wait, what?
Or should
They
you
sprung
do
that
the
on you?
same on the arrival and say, "Hey, my flight's getting in at 11:30 at night," or whatever?
So this is-
What's the code there? What's the code
Well,
there?
I
when
gotta
it
tell
comes to
you,
stuff
We've gotten
like
to the
that?
portion of the show where Sean craps on all his guests who bought an airline ticket to come visit him. So
No.
glad I missed that party.
No, but what's the code there, Mark?
Well, if your flight's that early or that late, you should be, I don't know, a better guest and maybe just have Uber come pick you up.
Yeah, and Sean lives in Ann Arbor. They're flying in a metro airport. It's not like you're going to spend $1,000.
No, but I had a couple people say, "Hey, I'm going to take the Ann Arbor Flyer,"
There you go.
and so I just took them to the downtown Ann Arbor.
Yeah, but you still let what, Uber doesn't go there?
No, I still had to get up at 4 in the morning. Yeah, it did kind of.
But you know me, I don't ever want anybody to do anything for me, so I would have just, yeah.
No, I was just curious what the code was. Should you
yeah,
talk
I
about the
think so.
people on the end of the travel plans? Because Mike had an interesting story before
It's a
we
little
started
more
recording
polite than
today.
just expecting something from someone.
It was a bus story. Yeah, tell us about it, Mike.
No, I want to get into all these people who canceled their weekend plans and spent a lot of money to come celebrate with your family who are now somehow imposing on you.
Stay with me and let me cook for them for 4 straight days. Yeah, that's awful.
That's how it works. Okay.
Yeah, come eat at my house and tell me how bad that is. For
what a
4 straight
wonderful
days.
host.
What do you say at Christmas? Hey, fat guy, get off the roof. I need to get it reshingled. Your big ass
So-
bumped some bricks out of my chimney. I got to get a tuck pointed now. Thanks for the bike, though.
No, I think.
come on.
So tell us about your story with the kids in the bus.
I'm a bad husband.
I want to hear
Apparently a
it.
terrible father as well.
I want to hear it.
No. To your point, though, Sean, if you're going to roll into my town at 4:30 in the morning and I'm hosting a bunch of people, you probably should make some arrangements to get there on your own. Seriously, though, I mean, it's like, yeah, we'll be there at 4:30 in the morning. I know you got to set up for this big party, so can you come get us? And I know you have a lot of other people there, so you'll probably just pick us up on one of your runs to the airport. Yeah, that's not really cool.
No. It was all good. Everybody pitched in, and
Sounds like it.
for 4 straight
Everybody
days. That was
pitched
awesome.
in.
I was just talking about the trap. No, the
After you just complained about how you
No,
cook
no,
for
the
everybody.
That's
dish-
good,
no,
yeah.
the-
Cousin asshole,
oh,
and
the
then
dishes, making grocery
you
store
know,
runs.
Uncle Goober who came in there at 2 in the morning on a bike.
All that
I love
kind
how
of
you're
stuff.
walking
no.
this back now.
No, it was great. We had a lot of help. A lot of help. People pitched in. I'm just talking about the travel arrangements in general. When you're
They're
going to see
rolling
somebody,
beers on tables and
Should
shit.
you-
Who are these people?
should you make it?
Yes, you should be a good guest.
Mike was complaining about sending his kids on a bus. And
No. Oh, we don't. Yeah, so my kids took a lengthy bus trip. It was 4 or 5 hours to another town.
Yeah, that's real lengthy.
And they got there at, well, it's, you know, I mean, it's not
I
like
thought
they
you were
got,
gonna say a
it's not like
two-day
they
bus
woke you up
trip.
at 4 in the morning to take the Ann Arbor Flyer to go buy some Zingerman's bagels or whatever it is.
Wow,
for $9.
They would be-
4 or 5 hours on a bus. That's almost like flying, I don't know what, from Michigan
San
to go
Francisco.
play USC in the
Yeah.
other side of the bag. The travel's just terrible nowadays.
Yeah, well, you tell that the kids on the Quidditch team. Cousin Eddie checking in here.
Well, cousin Eddie from vacation.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought Cousin Eddie was the one who got dropped off at the Ann Arbor Flyer.
No, cousin Eddie, terrible guest.
Oh.
I think that's the point.
So no,
right?
what happened to the bus? So finish the bus.
Oh, they just got there and it's like, well, it's too late. We're not going to come pick them up. I'm like, well, wait a minute. Everybody knew when they were leaving. Everybody knew when they're going to get there. It was going to take. It's going to take a long time, and you know you're in a big city bus station. It'd be nice if someone they knew was there to pick them up, or tell us come at a different time. I think that's where you
Did
coordinate.
it have Uber there?
Did you ask ahead of time if it would be okay before you booked the ticket? That's
Let's
the
just
question.
say it was our understanding they would be okay. And when a similar scheme had been enacted, we reciprocated by picking people up at times.
Oh,
when
I
we're
see.
not.
Scheme. So it's scheme. That's an interesting choice.
Let's just say, how about agenda? Is that better? Itinerary. Itinerary is the word I was looking
Yeah,
for.
itinerary is neutral.
Itinerary is
It's
the one I was
neutral.
looking
That's
for.
it. That's neutral.
But I never went on a radio show to bitch about him until Sean dragged me into this. But unlike unlike Sean, I'm not gonna say, "Bah, that was great. I'm glad they were."
I'm not bitching
I'm
about
glad I
anybody.
cooked at him, and they
No, I'm
they
not
rolled
bitching
all my
about
beers on the table, and
I'm gonna send him a bill.
yeah, and Sean's like, and then the worst part is they left the gate open, and a couple of our stud ponies ran out, and then they were running all over Washtenaw County inseminating
What?
foals
Where are you
or
going?
males. Well, Sean has a palatial estate out there. I mean, it's like
I
Yellowstone.
live in a two-bedroom cinder block house on a dirt road.
I forget. In Ann Arbor, it's called Maze Stone.
A dirt
But,
road. I live on a dirt road in a cinder
I've
block
been
house.
there. You've got one of those things.
It's a two-bedroom house. What are you talking about?
You've got one of those things like William Randolph Hearst had, where you walk under it and it's got vines
Xanadu?
growing on it. No, pergola.
A pergola, yeah.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
Oh yeah, that makes it a palace. Having some rotted wood for a pergola.
Yeah, and then
That
he's
really
got
makes
his
it a palace.
workshop out there, and he obviously his palatial estate bunks a dozen guests, and he's trying to say, "I live in a phone booth next to the Ann Arbor Flyer, and the phone's ringing all the time, and I got to answer it."
Yeah, we did. We had 12 people sleeping one night, and all but 3 of them were on couches. No, all but 4 of them were on couches and air mattresses on the floor.
So let's roll this back.
It's like a dorm.
Sean expects people to get up in the middle of the night to fly to Ann Arbor. He makes them sleep on a card table. He gives them like some dried out ribs and some beer that you actually have to perform a feat on before you can drink it. And he's bitching about them? That's who we got here? That's who we were so eager to reunite with here in this studio? This is outrageous. This cannot stand. This cannot stand.
And oddly enough, they all can't wait to come back. They want another reason to come back. This was a grad party for my son, but they're like, okay, come up with another reason so we can all come back, because they all want to do it again. So who knows?
Well, when do you get to go visit them?
I go visit people all the time.
Okay. Well, next time you go visit those people,
He
make
gets there
sure
at
you
noon.
need a ride at 2 a.m.
He gets there at noon, they drop him off on the curb, and he brings a pizza
No, I just get a rental car. I'm old
and
fashioned.
some White Claw.
Take care of yourself.
Yeah, I get a rental car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're self-sufficient.
You know, when some of these people were sleeping in because they obviously got up early to fly there, Sean started smashing the headlights out of their car and yelled, "This is what happens when you come to Sean's house early in the morning, Larry.
Great
This
host.
is what happens, Larry, when you come to a stranger's house early in the morning.
What's he say?
This is what happens when you fuck a stranger in the ass, Larry. Larry." Because he tried to brace Larry and he wouldn't admit to stealing. What did he steal? The dude's car?
Or a bag out of the car or
Oh,
something.
right. He had all the ransom money for Bunny Lebowski in the back of the. Was that a Torino or what the hell was what was the dude driving?
I don't know, but all I know is that Mark wants to read.
Oh,
over
no, we
here.
do need
Oh,
to mention. I know.
Okay, but
We got off to a flying start. We haven't been around
yeah,
each other in a while.
why are we losing sponsors? Because we just remembered to mention that Luke Nowacki, who's the only business that sponsors all the shows on the Red Shovel Network, supports us here, as do the Bricklayers and the Cadre Cafe. But let us tell you a little bit about how Luke can set you up in a position where not only can you afford a private flight to Ann Arbor, but you can probably get a hotel room and not bother Sean until he's ready to feed
Well, you won't need things from people if you're financially secure, and that's what Luke wants you to be. He wants you to be financially secure. When you retire, he wants you to be financially secure so you don't have to rely on people driving you to the bus station
I'm happy to
at
help.
4 in the morning.
I'm happy to help. By the way, Rick wanted to know if the continental breakfast was optional.
Yeah,
Rick, I made Grand Marnier French toast and eggs Benedict for everybody, for 16 people.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
Did you make it to go?
No, I mean, I walked the plate and with silverware.
Thank goodness we're not delaying the sponsor reads anymore.
If you're into fancy things
No,
like Sean,
but I
you
can
need
do
a lot of
that
money.
because of the folks like Luke, right? You invest your money.
Yeah, that's somebody got a small box of corn pops from Sean. Who said the milk went bad because I had to get dressed at the airport. I couldn't make it by the co-op to buy some of that milk that came from the breasts of
Yeah. Okay.
free range cow.
Luke Nowacki.
Luke Nowacki. He wants you to make money off your money. So if you want to figure out if you're on target to meet your goals, call Luke Nowacki. 248-663-4748. He's a financial advisor. He'll give you a free consultation. You just can't have your money sitting in the bank, right? You can't just spend your money. You got to have some set aside. Give Luke a call.
Because when you call Luke, he'll pick your ass up at the airport without any complaints. Because you know why? He makes it all about you, sweetheart.
Securities and investment advisory services offered through
Mosaic Wealth.
Inc. Member FINRA SIPC.
Mosaic Wealth.
Inc. is separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent.
Mosaic Wealth.
And if you need to make money, there's a couple people hiring out there. It's the bricklayers and allied craft workers, local to Michigan. They're looking for hardworking men and women all throughout the state of Michigan. Whether you have experience in any of the trowel trades, there's an option for you. And if you don't have any experience, there's an option for you. If you have zero prior experience, there's free training opportunities with job placement. Starts at just over $26 an hour plus benefits. You can earn while you learn as a registered apprentice. If you're one of those experienced tradesmen or woman in building new or even restoring old masonry, installing tile, marble, terrazzo, caulking, or finishing concrete, you can make anywhere between $26 and just over $37 plus benefits like Blue Cross Blue Shield, 2 pensions, and annuity, year-round free training, workshop certifications with the possibility of more. The Bricklayers want you. Visit bricklayers.org, learn more about what Local 2 has to offer, and take the next step in building your future today.
You could probably even fix up that broke-ass place where Sean's been bunking people. It sounds like it's terrible from what he said.
Oh man, the geeks have inherited the earth.
Did I do that?
What a dork.
Does him wanting to play with us again mean that he's turning into a geek, or we're turning into cool guys?
You know, I grew up in Grosse Pointe. I didn't even know what a pergola was, but I guess it's...
Did you understand?
Kind of a hovel.
Did he just say, I grew up in Grosse Pointe, I don't know what a pergola is?
He was, yeah. I think he was trying to steal your line before he could use it.
Yeah, I saw Sean.
No,
I
wouldn't go to say anything.
I saw him in the crouch.
But yeah, no, I like.
I grabbed the starter's
By
pistol.
the way, both you guys were.
By the way,
no, both you guys were invited to that party, but Mark wasn't feeling well, and Mike forgot. But that's my fault because I.
When did you invite me?
A few weeks ago. I owed him a reminder.
You expect me to remember anything?
No, that's my
over 2 days old.
It's my fault. Yeah.
Oh, I'm grateful because
You're right. I was in the ER while I was.
No, you would have enjoyed a lot of good barbecue and a lot of other food.
Geez, imagine how much you would have been bitching if he had to pick me up at my house just across from Grosse Pointe.
I would have
I'm glad I didn't make
happily
it.
and I actually like going to the airport to get people. I like planes and all that. So
What?
Oh yeah, that's what we
just
understood.
not at 4 in the morning.
I've never heard anybody utter the phrase, I like going to the airport to pick up people.
I do.
Why?
Yeah, prostitutes say that.
Not at 4. Just not at 4 in the morning.
Drug mules say that.
I think,
It's fun to-
I think you're just trying to cover for the fact that you did not want to drive those people at 4 in the
No,
morning.
I did not. Not at 4.
Exactly.
I did though. I did. But yeah.
I know, but you didn't want to, and that's fine.
No.
So my geek of the
Nobody
week.
would want to.
Not on their vacation, especially. Yeah.
Yes, ML, Geek of the Week.
My geek of the week
Carry
is Michigan State for claiming that the reason why they're selling beer at Spartan Stadium is because they want to enhance the fan experience. They want to make money. That's why they're doing it. They want to make money.
Hey, can I ask you a question about that?
And by the way, if you're going to do
It's
that,
not.
please install some more crappers before you do that? Because you cannot sell more beer and not install more bathrooms and enhance the fan experience. You will, in fact, be deteriorating the fan experience because there's a lot of us who are standing in line who aren't drinking beers all day. So.
Oh, you want a non-alcoholic bathroom?
No, I just want more facilities. If you're going to give people more reason to use them, you should provide more facilities.
You know how you get more facilities? By making more money. You know how you get more money? Bigger TV contracts. You know how you get bigger TV contracts? A fourth slate of television.
Yeah, people have to watch the games.
What?
They want to watch good
See,
games.
so you're a winner in all this conference expansion.
Yep.
And I can't wait till we drop the
you want privacy, by the
Quidditch
way?
team so we can put a couple of portables.
Are you good with
out
like a what do you call it? A trench? Not
Trough?
A trench, trough. Are you good with that, or do you want privacy?
I like to have a little barrier there. I like to have a little partition if possible. But we have troughs. We make it
Do you
work.
have a shy bladder if you have to pull out in front of a bunch of people?
Do you guys remember the old Michigan Stadium wall? It wasn't even a trough, really. It was just a wall.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're staring at somebody across the room.
Well, I remember going somewhere where it was a circle. It was like I don't remember where it was. It seems to me it was in Wrigley Field back in the 70s, but or maybe Tiger Stadium. But there were some bathrooms where it was like a fountain. It was like a circle, and you're taking a leak, and somebody's staring at you while you're taking a leak. You're like.
I mean, it was very efficient.
You didn't care, but we're more uptight. It's funny because we're so much more loose and accepting in a lot of ways in society. But it's when it comes to nudity in public, we're much more like when you went to school. Were there public showers in the public schools after PE?
We had I mean, I didn't go to public school, but we had showers. Yeah.
Yeah. And
you had to shower. Yeah.
Yeah, with a bunch of other kids, right? And you didn't think twice about it, did you?
No.
We got swimsuits at my high school. They had these ancient black swimsuits everybody had to wear. I mean, everybody's doing everything together.
And you undressed in front of, but that didn't happen now.
No, well, hell.
I've not been naked with a bunch of high school kids in a while.
No, but when my kids went through high school, yeah, everything has changed. The rules.
Well, there used to be like a bathroom.
They don't even go to the bathroom. They'd wait till they get home.
Really?
Yeah, if it's number 2.
Really? It used to be you would just sit next to somebody with no partitions.
Short, but
sorry. No, I did want to. Can I ask you one question
yes,
about
please.
the Michigan State thing? Because I admit I haven't read up enough on it. So they're selling booze for what? 4 games?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to sell it for Michigan. And
no, they are selling it for Michigan.
Oh, they are.
Yeah. Because remember, we were all warned about that game.
Who are they? It's a bunch of chicken shits. But is it Washington they're not selling it for? I thought, or is it the first 2 games?
Let me ask you this. Well, I know they can't do it for the first 2 games because they wouldn't get the liquor license in time. Are there only 6 home games?
There might be. They go on a big road trip, but we have one of the toughest schedules in the damn country. And
how'd you find that out, by the way?
Huge.
Where'd you hear about that?
Well, college football's a business.
So somebody covered it.
Was it the
Wonder
Free
why
Press?
they're covering it.
Because it gets eyeballs.
Yeah. Oh well.
And why did they cover it? Because they got eyeballs? Because eyeballs is about money, right? You keep saying it's eyeballs. Eyeballs and money are the same.
Because there's an audience out there? Oh.
Dude, I was going to these games when the Big Ten had 10 teams, okay? And there were a lot of people sitting around me. It was not an empty stadium. I'm just telling you. You have this. And when I was a kid.
And all the games were at noon.
And when I was a kid, I would go to games in the big house when they were only on CBS once a week, and it was full.
Yeah, and only one team was allowed to be on television ever.
I'm just telling you, these stadiums have filled up long before the TV networks
not about the stadium
ruled everything. No, but Sean's argument is these stadiums would be empty if the games weren't on TV, and that's
they would still. No, I'm saying the rest of the athletic department would be empty.
Yeah.
No, they had these same sports back then that they have now.
They've added a lot of them.
So that's our Geek of the Week. Sweet Jesus.
See you guys.
There's an all-night party in room 7609. And you can dance together all night if you've got the time.
Room 7609 is brought to you by the Caju Cafe. If you love great music, that's why you're here in room 7609. If you love great music and great food and great pastimes like feather bowling, you go to the Caju Cafe on Caju Road in Detroit, the pride of the East Side. This week, Wednesday, karaoke. Thursday and Friday, Super Crunch, the Grateful Dead tribute, is going to be playing. Saturday, big lineup, the Vig Arcadia, Blaine Luis Band, Forge the Sun. Sunday, David Winans with Mars Radio and Tasha Owens. Planet D, None or Nanit, depends if you've been to France or not. Blues Monday, which is also Muscle Madness.
Blues Monday.
All you can eat mussels. And here's the big thing you need to get ready for. August 31st, Muscle Beach Music Festival starts. That's a great annual event at the Caju Cafe. To find out about all the great stuff going on at the Caju Cafe, you can go to cajucafe.com, and there'll be a link to their website on our website, which is mlsoulofdetroit.com. So last week while Mark was away, who I think really likes Britpop, we decided we were going to end this summer with a look at a big musical movement that happened right after New Wave that's kind of had a resurgence this summer. And so we played a little Blur last week. Today we're going to play a band that was fronted by Damon Albarn's girlfriend, the lead singer of Elastica. And some of the people from Elastica are from one of the great Britpop bands, Suede. We'll be getting into them a little bit later. But first, here is the first single from Elastica, a cool little tune called Stutter.